Ridgecrest Lost and Found podcast. In the same way that you find throat lozenges and other hard candies, that's what we're about here. I'm Stephen,
And I'm Logan.
and things are a little different today. Logan is feeling under the weather.
Yes, my voice is almost gone.
Yes, he is at, you say 40%?
Yes.
Would you say that's accurate, or are you feeling less so?
The now is probably 45%, but by the end of this episode, it will be at about 30. It just drastically goes downhill the longer I talk.
Should I not waste your voice by asking dumb questions?
I feel like my life is all about dumb questions, so I think it'll
So
be
it's worth
okay.
it.
I think so.
Excellent. So we chose a good day to have this little bit of role reversal going on because we are joined today by Tyler Holden.
Hello.
How would you describe yourself to what you perceive this audience to be?
This audience?
Yes, this audience, the people that watch this podcast. Well, how would you describe yourself to them?
I'm just a dude, man. Like just some
That's
dude.
disappointing. So Tyler,
I want to know. I want to know what his perception of our audience is, because you said how he
it was a
perceives.
twofold question, yeah. So it was how do you perceive our audience, and how do they perceive you? I thought it was pretty good. And then he completely.
And then he went right past it.
What was I supposed to give a philosophical answer?
No. I'll give it a shot. So, those of you that attend Ridgecrest on Sunday mornings,
Oh yeah, I
or,
play guitar
or watch our live stream,
worship on Sunday.
you probably see Tyler. He is our electric guitar player and the person that is clearly having the most fun out of everybody on stage. Every single week. You get into it. We love it.
I love it because I don't know. I've just always been that kind of stage presence kind of person because I grew up listening to rock and roll and metal
music, and
stuff.
and performance is like your passion. That's what you do.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I love it because my thing that I do every Sunday is I'm our video director, and sometimes sometimes you have pre-scene members who are like nervous. Sometimes you got people filling in on music. They're nervous. Like there's just sometimes an energy where like people may not be feeling it.
Yeah.
You are clutch every time. You're always a good camera subject. So I love it.
Thanks, man.
The
I appreciate that.
there is one person that kind of competes with him, but in a different way, and it's Andrew, our bass player.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But it's in a different way.
It is.
Oh,
He is an absolute wild card sometimes because sometimes he's just typical bass player. He's got the neck confidence, just sitting there playing, and then sometimes I'll look at I'll tell my cameras to go look at bass, and he is just feeling it.
Yeah.
He's just getting into it. He's great.
Good old brother.
We love our instrumentalists here, our band members.
Phenomenal. Yeah.
Yeah, they're great. So I say we picked a good day for this role reversal kind of thing because you and I have been good friends for a while.
Yeah.
We kind of grew up in the Ridgecrest student ministry together. So I feel like
Yeah.
this is a good, better you to be the one that I'm interviewing than,
Logan.
yeah, or like one of these, like, because the people that we've had on before, except for people that attend or work at Ridgecrest,
Yeah.
I had never met them before.
It's been most of people that I have relationships
Exactly.
with.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So and it just worked out because you are a viewer of the podcast, an enjoyer of the podcast.
Yeah.
And on one of our episodes, you commented saying, "Best fast food biscuits."
Yeah.
I want to be
y'all
able
are
to
asking
talk
for
about
topics.
and so this is a great example of someone who just who we knew being like, "There's something I want to talk about," so I'm gonna invite myself on the podcast, and we're glad you did.
Yeah.
So
And we got biscuits.
we got biscuits. So, can you explain your thought process behind, like, why do you want to do this? Are you just a purveyor of biscuits, breakfast food? What was your
I'd
thought?
say like I'm a Southern boy in sense that I love Southern food. I grew up with it, and I've always eaten it, and I think we all like Southern food.
Absolutely.
But like, there's some things about Southern food that's it just hits different. Biscuits is one of them.
I'm a big, when it comes to breakfast food, my go-to good biscuits and gravy.
Yeah,
Can't-
exactly. You can't beat it, man. Like biscuits and gravy is
It's
just
so good.
phenomenal. Yeah. So
That's not what we're doing here. We're just doing biscuits. Just straight biscuits.
dry. I'm gonna be like,
But biscuits and gravy, you're not comparing the biscuit. The biscuit is the vehicle for the gravy.
Not necessarily, because sometimes, like I found that I prefer for biscuits and gravy a biscuit that has a little bit of crunch to it.
Mm.
Because if a biscuit's already super soft, then it's not. It's just gonna like disappear in the gravy. You know,
yeah,
it's just another part of the
yeah. I get what you're saying.
yeah. But a biscuit that's a little bit tougher
Yeah.
has some bite to it.
Real tough, dude.
Yeah. Tough biscuit. So before we get into it, though, Logan, did you have any questions for Tyler? Any thoughts or any icebreakers? Since we're doing, just commit to the whole thing.
Let's see. I want to do something about breakfast. Obviously, it doesn't
Yeah.
have to be about biscuits.
Yeah.
What is? Let's see. How do we say this? What is either your favorite or an interesting non-Southern breakfast food that you've ever had?
A non-Southern breakfast food that I've.
I don't know what the answer to that would be, but
Or you can just tell us your favorite, and we can decide. Like, no, that's too normal. Give us something a little more left field. So, what's your favorite breakfast food?
Favorite breakfast food? I was definitely probably like a sausage biscuit,
Just
honestly.
a classic sausage.
Yeah,
Okay,
classic
that's too
sausage
southern. Pick
biscuit.
something else.
It's too southern.
I don't feel like a sausage biscuit is a Southern breakfast food.
Ooh, is a bit. I thought we were basing this whole thing off of biscuits being Southern food, or because that's what Tyler said was like he's a Southern boy, so
Southern boy.
loves biscuits.
But at this point, I feel like if you go out to the Midwest, fast food
What are you
places.
talking about? These are all local chain restaurants.
Popeyes, you know.
I pulled
And a little mom and pop Popeyes. That's what they call it, Popeyes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I take back what I said. Okay.
Yeah.
Tyler, you're dead wrong. It is Southern. Get over yourself.
No, I mean I've had some pretty good like breakfast wraps that are
Yeah.
pretty good, and Taco Bell. Honestly,
Bell's breakfast is
they've
good.
got a killer breakfast.
They do.
You know,
Breakfast crunch wrap. Have you ever had that?
I'm a big fan. I don't like our Taco Bell for lots of reasons, but one is they stopped doing breakfast,
oh,
and it's frustrating.
They stopped doing breakfast.
Or I'll say
around,
that,
around COVID they did.
or I'll say that when I go there to try to get breakfast, they'll say, "Honey, we ain't doing breakfast no more."
That is.
it's 8:30 in the morning. Come on.
Are you going to one in Madison? Or
Yes,
that's interesting.
Yeah.
yes.
You really enjoyed that button, are you?
I'm flipping it back and forth very well.
You like that, bud?
You're doing it.
Stephen, your favorite and least favorite breakfast food?
Favorite and least favorite breakfast food. So, like I said, I love biscuits and gravy,
Mm.
but it has to be a good biscuits and gravy. I feel like there's such a thing as bad biscuits and gravy.
You ever met somebody that likes to eat like fruit for breakfast, and you're like, "What's wrong with
like
you?"
just straight fruit or like a side of like a fruit cup. Because I can understand that, like having.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe just like straight fruit or something, where it's just kind of like,
I understand it, but also like
Like the people growing up that would eat grapefruit as like
Oh,
their
like
breakfast.
just with a spoon
Ah.
just going straight grapefruit.
Yeah,
brother, where's the diabetes in that?
that's what
Come on.
I know.
My least
Weird.
favorite is a straight grapefruit.
As
Never actually,
pull out my grapefruit. You know.
I've never actually had straight grapefruit, but that just seems like it'd be so sour.
Well, so the diabetes in it is you have to put about 5 cups of sugar
Yeah.
over
Oh,
the
of
top of
course.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got there's got to be some.
Yeah.
Am I making it up that some people do that with like cottage cheese, like grapefruit and cottage cheese? I've heard that somewhere, and that sounded vile.
Yeah, that does
Yeah.
sound pretty well.
Yeah,
That sounds like something like some like just weird like hipster person just be
Yeah.
like,
This-
let's mix together these two and, and then make this concoction.
sounds like this may be a hot take. I'm sure we've got people that swear by it, but apple pie with a slice of cheddar cheese on top, I've never understood that. That's disgusting.
Huh.
That's a thing.
Is
Yeah.
it?
It's a thing.
Oh well.
Yeah.
I like apple pie and I like cheddar cheese, but not together.
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
Never understood it.
No.
Maybe a generational thing, but
Yeah.
those are two things that
Yeah.
Who
Yikes.
thought to combine those things?
What's your
Only
least
names.
favorite breakfast food, though?
I would say I like a lot of breakfast foods. So picking a favorite is more of just like what brings me joy.
Yeah.
What brings me joy is a really good, as what you were talking about with biscuits and gravy, a really good thing of cheese grits makes me happy. Second to that would just be eggs, because I eat scrambled eggs the most.
I got my least favorite one. I don't think I ever mentioned the least favorite one. I do not like powdered donuts. I'm not a powdered donut.
I'm not a
guy.
big fan of them. I wouldn't say like they're my least favorite, but
Yeah.
I don't eat them ever.
What,
Yeah.
What is the deal with? What is the issue with powder?
It's just the
the powder?
texture. It's the powder.
Okay.
Like, it just makes me think I'm like eating chalk or something like that. I
That's
just
fair.
don't like that
Yeah.
consistency.
And like it leaves.
Like, I'll eat a donut. Like, donut's fine, but like a powdered donut, it's just,
Yeah, it's like a whole thing where like
Yeah. Now,
you
maybe
have to commit to that choice.
maybe if they put it in like a fryer, fry that thing up a little bit, you know what I'm saying?
But my least favorite, I would go with any continental breakfast, any just cold hotel breakfast, where
We
they're
have-
like,
We have cereal.
where we're just putting forth the least amount of effort possible. That's what I hate.
Yeah.
When you walk in and it's like, you can have instant oatmeal in a microwave or off-brand Cheerios.
Yeah.
That's true. What is your? This is questions for both of you, because I'm hearing a lot of like more savory or traditional breakfast foods.
Yeah.
What about like a sweet breakfast? How do we feel about that?
Sweet breakfast, like a cinnamon roll or something like
Like
that.
a cinnamon roll, like a crepe, something like that.
Crepe.
Pancakes, waffles.
Crepe.
If
Yeah, no, I love it. Waffles, pancake,
What is your ideal sweet breakfast?
Ooh.
I didn't even think about pancakes and waffles being a sweet breakfast, but
But,
Yeah.
but it is, I would think.
I think when you add like the syrup and stuff like
Yeah.
that, it kind of becomes more of a sweet
Yeah, the
breakfast.
vegan pancakes that Greg talked about, not sweet breakfast.
no.
But normal people pancakes.
Yeah. It tastes so good.
It's hard to beat a good donut. I
Yeah.
mean, maybe because we work at a church and we eat it at least once a week.
Yeah.
But a good donut will take you a long way.
Favorite kind of donut? I'm gonna get a specific answer out of
I'm a
both of you.
I'm a donut palace guy.
Oh,
What
yeah.
kind of donut though? Like just traditional glaze?
Glazed or an apple fritter specifically from Donut Palace.
Okay. I've never had their apple fritters.
So I didn't know this because I've only had Donut Palace apple fritters. But a lot of apple fritters will have like pieces of apple and apple jelly inside the fritter. I didn't like that. I just like an apple flavored fried dough.
That's fair.
What was the question again?
Sweet breakfast.
Sweet breakfast.
If you could have, what's your ideal or favorite sweet breakfast? I'm gonna make you be as specific as possible.
That's tough. Do you have an answer?
No.
He's going to make us be specific, but he has absolutely nothing.
I mean, donuts are pretty good, man. Like, ain't nothing like going to Krispy Kreme with that hot light on, bubba, and you can, I think my favorite, going back to the donut question,
Yeah.
my favorite kind of donut is like a cream-filled donut or one that has like a, what is it? The custard or something?
Jelly filled or like
Yeah, custard filled or something like that. Like, it's like a surprise, man. You bite into it and you're like,
So you go into Krispy Kreme and you go, give me the best surprise you have. Best surprise donut.
no, because I feel like they tell me to go home.
Yeah. Yeah, I would not want someone to come up to me and say that. I like waffles. I'm definitely more of a waffles than pancakes kind of guy.
Dude, yeah.
They hit different.
Waffle. Yeah. Like, what's your favorite waffle? Like chocolate chip or something?
I'm pretty bland, so yeah, chocolate chip.
Mhm.
I mean, that's a tough question because that's like being asked, "What's your favorite ice cream?"
Yeah.
Because like,
Vanilla.
but yeah, there are a lot. Like we're at a point in the guys at Big Waffle. We never know what they can put in waffles these days.
Big waffle?
Big Waffle. Yeah.
What is this? Is that the Big Brother corporation? You must eat our waffles and only
The
our waffles.
nerds in the waffle lab.
which is really just Eggo. I mean, we can call them out.
That's true.
The big brother of waffles is Eggo.
Yeah. It's true.
You will conform to our socialistic waffles. You will only eat these brand of waffles, nothing else.
I mean, name another brand of waffles. You can't.
Besides Eggo?
Yes.
That's true.
I've got a monopoly.
I mean, I feel like you have the Eggo monopoly, which is like your frozen grocery
Well, there's
store.
probably like a Great Value brand or something.
But then you have your in-person waffle, which is obviously Waffle House. I feel like those are two opposite sides of the oligarchy of waffles.
Oligarchy. Nice. That was good.
I like that word. What's that word mean? Just kidding.
Don't ask me that. Just accept it as my pure
I'm going
intelligence.
to look up the actual definition of oligarchy. How do you spell that?
With an O.
Ali?
Thank you.
O-L-I.
Gurky.
Garky.
Ali? Gurky.
O-L-I Garky.
Gurky. Gurky Burky.
While he's doing that, Tyler, before we eat biscuits, I want you to tell me, because I have thoughts on this. I've been thinking about this.
Mm-hmm.
What makes a good biscuit? Because I have descriptors I've been thinking about.
Oligarchy is a conceptual form of power structure in which power rests with a small number of people.
Hey, host Dingleberry, we've moved on. Okay.
You said while Stephen's doing this.
Brother Tosin. Brother Toe.
Now that I've given you time to think about your answer.
I'd say like how like when you eat it, how like easy it is to eat, and like how
So like when you take a bite into it, does it fall apart or not?
yeah.
Okay. How greasy is it? Like stuff
How
like
greasy
that.
is it? Buttered? Is
Yeah.
it not buttered?
Yeah.
You know, is it dry? You know, there's some biscuit places where it's just like you bite into it and you're like, there's no taste. You know, there's no
Yeah.
butter or anything like that. And there's other biscuits they got like honey butter and stuff, and it's like, ooh yeah, you know. So
So we do have some condiments.
Hmm.
Now, are we going to do this just straight biscuit? Or are we going to do like one bite straight and then add a condiment of our choice?
One, you're using the word straight a lot in this episode, and I'm just questioning that. My thought, but I'm not the co-host, I'm not the host, I'm the producer. My thought would be one bite, pure biscuit.
Yeah.
And then if we want to take a second bite with either honey butter or jelly or whatever, we can do that.
So what I said.
Right.
Also, if you could not call me out on my vernacular, that'd be great. I don't do that to you. So
But I feel like you do. Anyway, so what I was saying,
do I call out Logan?
what I was saying, I can control the camera. I have power here.
Don't abuse it. I don't
What?
abuse it. I don't abuse your
Don't care. I'm back on me now.
we're back to oligarchy now.
That's right. I don't even remember what you said.
When I looked up oligarchy, when I got to like the CH/K, like whichever one it was, everyone like the predictive in Google was K. It's with a CH. So the top search for oligarchy is misspelled.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Oligarchy.
But I think I agree with Tyler. My biggest issue with the biscuit is both when it crumbles and falls apart, which I guess is an issue of dryness, I guess. And then when it's just dough that you've cooked in an oven.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like I like a little bit of salt, which probably has a lot to do with why I like Popeye's biscuits.
Yeah.
And then some kind of butter or oil or something has got to be in there too, because a biscuit naturally is a little bit dry.
Yeah.
But I think you can make it to where you minimize the natural dryness, but then just adding a good butter, oil, whatever, honey,
A little something, you know.
just takes it over the edge.
Honey. That's what we should have gotten. Did you get any from Chick-fil-A? Any honey?
No.
Dang.
Chick-fil-A sells honey.
They've got little packets of honey.
Oh.
Chicken biscuit with honey on it. Excellent.
Bless it. Bless.
So, did you have any other questions for Tyler? Or do you want to get?
I actually had a very random question for you. I was going to pull into your music career.
Come on.
Do you do anything voice or throat care wise? The reason why I asked that is because I was at a summer camp one time, like a Christian church camp, and the worship leader was drinking honey straight from the bottle because he said it lubricated his throat, which made me think about if you do anything.
So they say that if you drink honey, it hydrates your vocal cords first, which I don't know how true that is or not because I've heard different kinds of things. I've heard that the best thing to do is just drink water as much as possible and everything to hydrate. But the honey thing might work
But
and
room
everything.
temp water, is that right? Because I've heard that cold water.
Yeah, room temp water. I mean, I drink cold water. Like I don't know.
Yeah, but
I
I guess
think
the
as
cold water's like right before you're gonna perform. So
yeah,
it's bad.
yeah. I think as long as you're just hydrating,
Yeah.
like before, like you're about to perform or anything, use your voice. Hours before, and warming up's a big thing too. Like you're doing at least like a 5 minute warm up or something before you sing.
Like unique New York,
Yeah.
unique New York.
Exactly.
Very good.
Yeah, you have to do because I'm not trying to get like philosophical, um, but my vocal teacher in college used to tell me like your voice is a muscle. It's just like the muscles that you train when you work out and everything like that. So you have to warm it up, you have to work it out, and you have to take care of it, by putting in hydration and everything and, all this kind of stuff. So, that guy downing the honey and everything like that, he was hydrating and everything. Might have gone a little overboard by just drinking the whole thing honey, but I think you can get like a little dab of honey and it'll work just fine. But yeah, there's a lot of like things that people do to warm up their voice and have it,
And I don't know
good
if
to
we
go.
said this just to further legitimize your opinion, but you don't only just play guitar on Sunday mornings.
No,
Do you consider yourself a professional musician?
Yes.
I would say that's accurate.
My buddy told me one time, he was like, "You're a professional musician because you get paid to play music,"
Yeah,
and I was like,
and you went to
I didn't
college
even.
for it.
I did go to college for it. I got a music ministry degree from the school of William Carey University in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. Yes, that's a drop. But yeah, I went to school for it, and of course I play guitar here, but I also sing in a metal band.
Yeah.
Called The Hero and a Monster, and that's been my thing for like I don't know 6 years or something like that.
Yeah.
And so I sing in that band, and I have to take care of my voice in that and everything.
Yeah. Having heard, I like rock. I like metal. We have a very similar musical
absolutely.
taste.
I think that's what like kind of
we bonded over that.
yeah,
In high school. Definitely not for everybody.
right.
But
A lot of people call it like screamy.
yeah,
like,
screamo is the big
screamo.
one that
Yeah,
my parents would call it.
yeah,
But I will say like it is undeniable that the people that do the kind of vocal things found in that genre
hmm
takes a combination of talent, care, and just
Oh, yeah.
intentionality. Like it's tough.
it's completely different than singing.
Yeah.
Like learning how to sing and then learning how to scream are just two complete different ball fields that take years and years and years of practice. Like screaming is not just
my son's
what
gotten
you
really
think.
good at it. He's not even a year old yet.
Yeah, yeah. But like
Yeah.
what people think of screaming is actually not screaming.
Right.
Like there's a more like gentle and relaxed approach to it that people have to take so that they won't blow out their
Yeah.
vocal cords and everything like that. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's pretty
There's
cool.
there's an art to it. There's like a
Yeah.
it's a
Yeah.
technical skill.
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of people, they think like, oh, it's probably pretty easy. It's like, no, man, it takes a long time to get
And
that way.
it can be too much. Like I won't. I don't like it when I can't understand a single word that is.
Yeah, diction is a big thing
Yeah.
with screaming, and a lot of people like have kind of emphasized that in the last probably 10, 20 years of like, trying to have diction when they scream and everything versus just, doing the
Yeah. Not a fan of that kind. But
Yeah.
again, undeniable. It takes
It takes a lot.
it takes a lot.
That's
It
a
does.
lot. I'm still learning. Like my goal is to like do like the little like
Yeah.
the gutturals and everything, but that takes
Yeah, well,
years.
you've surprised me with. I try to keep up with your music as much as I can.
Thanks, man.
Big fan.
Thanks, man.
But you've surprised me with a lot of the songs that I've heard, and the stuff you're able to do vocally.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Absolutely.
I'm always growing,
Yeah.
trying to. Yeah.
Did you have something to say? You looked like you were.
You got something to say?
reaching for the
No,
button.
y'all basically talked about it. Me and Tyler have had some conversations about how like screaming is just so nuanced when you get into it, and
Yeah.
like I've watched videos of guys that, I mean, have so much control,
Yeah.
and
Like Will Ramos from Lorna Shore.
Yeah.
I was going
is
to
a
mention
big one.
Lorna Shore. Yeah.
Yeah.
and
Didn't like they record his.
Yeah, he had I think the lady her channel's called The Charismatic Voice, which I mean she's looking at like the anatomy of like the
Yeah.
vocal cords and what they're doing while he's screaming and stuff, and you could see like they put like a camera in his throat and you can watch the vocal cords, just the way they move and like, you know, like not necessarily constrict but like, you know, move in and stuff. It's just crazy how like people can do that and everything to like manipulate their vocal cords to where it sounds like, you know, something's just like, oh, I don't want to say
What's wrong?
demonic because people are gonna be like demonic. No, but like, you know, just like a low kind of like,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
thing that just
To
it
be able to
sounds
do that
like,
with a camera in your throat, no less. That's
like
impressive.
it's crazy. Like it's I don't it's just nuts how
it's cool.
yeah, it's very cool. You know, just another thing to add to music, you know, and to the plethora of music. So
that genre of music has breakdowns. And
yeah,
that's always fun.
that's always
Love a
fun,
good
man.
breakdown.
I love looking out and seeing people just, you know, like smashing, like just breaking each other apart. It's a fun way to get, you know, anger out and everything.
Good moshing.
Good moshing, man. Like I can't do it as much anymore. I just do it with my arms and not my legs because I tried doing it with my legs one time and my back almost gave out and I was like, my back. And it was not a fun time.
Yeah.
But, you know, I think it's a good form or a good thing for people to get their anger out and their frustrations and everything rather than doing drugs and alcohol and stuff because, you know, I'd rather send a kid to a metal show than you know, just be like, oh, let's
Go to a back alley and get
go
some
to the
drugs.
back alley, get some drugs, man.
But for those that have never been to a hardcore show or a metal show or whatever, it's very it is very aggressive. I was about to say it's not aggressive, but it's not there's no like animosity.
Yeah, there's no
No.
like violence.
Yeah, it's
No,
it's
yeah.
it's like
There's rules. There's rules.
yeah,
to the
it's like
pit.
if you don't want to be in the pit, get out of the
Get
pit.
out of the pit.
And like
Yeah.
yeah, like you said, there's just a lot of like there are things to do and things not to do.
Yeah, like if you fall in the pit, like they'll pick you up.
Right.
You know, they'll make sure that you get up and that you're okay and everything like that. If somebody gets hurt, they'll stop the pit. They'll get that person out. They'll get an
They're
ambulance
supposed
to
to
them.
stop it. There are videos on the internet where
Yeah.
somebody really into it does not realize they clocked a person.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's this thing called crowd killing where
Yeah.
you know you might see like a big bald 30-year-old dude just wailing on something. Dude, I watched. Oh my. Funny enough, I went and saw a Lorna Shore show in Memphis, and I watched this gigantic beefed up dude without a shirt on. Just they call
Bulldoze
it like
people.
huh?
You just bulldoze people.
They call it the haymaker, but he was just basically like flailing his arms like that, and he just get like there's this girl, and she's probably like 30 something too, but she's a lot smaller, and so you just see him just wail on her, and then like 5 seconds later he notices what he did, and he's like, "I'm so sorry," and it was like that's so sweet, but man, he just laid.
Have a little more spatial awareness.
I'm sorry. But yeah, there's some things that you'll see where you're just like, oh my gosh, like that's the craziest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
But then like 5 seconds after you'll see them like apologizing and like, you know, being like, hey, you want some
Yeah.
water or anything?
Yeah, I
like
feel like there's an impression of like a mosh pit at like a metal show that it's basically Fight Club.
that. Yeah.
And that's just not what it is.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people are there everybody's there to have a good time and
Yeah.
have fun, you know, and they're not trying to hurt anybody. Like, you know, they're there to, you know, all have a good time. And
Yeah.
so if you ever get a chance, just try it.
I've
you know?
never moshed before. I've never been in like a real mosh pit.
Yeah.
I was always afraid to because one, I'm a shy person,
Yeah.
Two, my brother years ago went to I think it was a Lincoln Park show,
Yeah.
and one of his friends got in the mosh pit, came out of it with no shirt on, and they were like, "Where'd your shirt go?" And he went, "I have no idea."
Yeah,
he
you
didn't even
lose
realize
stuff.
that he lost his shirt.
Yeah, I've lost my glasses a couple times.
Yeah.
My glasses. I did the whole Velma thing where I was looking on the ground and stuff, and then now I invested in
You
like
almost found them, and then somebody stepped on it. You heard a crunch, and you're like, "No!" The whole thing.
yeah, crowd surfers are the worst. Like people that like just they're surfing and everything like that, and like out of nowhere, this happened to me like 2 or 3 times, but their foot will just bonk hit me right in the back of the head, and then my glasses will go whoop, and I'm just like, well, I'm blind. But it's still a great experience.
Yeah,
And
sometimes you get some wholesome. Like I've seen some clips of like guys in wheelchairs. That
yeah,
people,
they'll
like
lift them.
up and they'll
Yeah,
surf them. That's cool.
yeah, or they'll have like like a 5-year-old kid like
Yeah.
moshing in the pit and everything,
Yeah.
and obviously there's not going to be like a big dude being like, but
He would just punch over him, so it'd probably be fine
true.
anyway.
yeah, exactly. But yeah, I mean, it's a family affair, man. It's a lot of fun.
Would you say a Lorna Shore show is a family affair?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Interesting. I don't know if I'd agree with that. I'm not going to endorse that on this podcast.
Speaking of agreeing, we ready to compare biscuits?
Do some biscuits.
Biscuits.
You are the guest here. You get to pick what order we go in.
All right, what do we have?
We got Whataburger, Chick-fil-A, Crystal, Wendy's, McDonald's, Popeyes. I thought about doing Burger King, but then I was like, it took me a lot of intentional effort to even remember that Burger King had biscuits, so
Yeah,
it probably shouldn't be.
Also, that Whataburger is actually a honey butter chicken biscuit. I got us those as kind of like a cherry on top at the end. So when you're ready to eat Whataburger, I have all three of ours over here.
There is a Whataburger over here.
That's what I'm saying. That's the honey butter chicken biscuit.
Okay.
So don't eat that. It has chicken in it, which throws off the whole
Yeah,
comparison.
biscuit only.
So do we have regular Whataburger biscuit? Okay. So who do you want to start with?
I want to start with the crystal one because
Okay.
I don't think I've ever had a crystal biscuit.
Okay. So can we get one Crystal biscuit? We already got one over here. Okay.
Crystal biscuit.
Tyler does a really good like SpongeBob narrator voice.
He does great.
2
voices.
hours later.
I never got to watch SpongeBob as a kid.
All right, so
It was too dumb.
that makes a lot of sense. So what I thought we could do is do like a presentation of the wrapper, how the biscuit looks, and then a taste test.
Good wrap. It's a good wrap.
It's an okay wrapper.
The biscuit looks already ready to have to be open and
it's a
put
bit
some
tougher.
jelly in.
It's a bit tougher, but I like a tough
A
biscuit.
bit tougher.
So,
That may be the most plain Jane fast
That is
food
a biscuit.
biscuit.
not bad.
It
But
ain't bad.
has nothing identifying it whatsoever.
Yeah. But if you put some jelly in there or something like that,
Yeah,
it'd
absolutely.
work out great. Not a bad biscuit.
It has the texture of a biscuit that I want.
Yeah.
It's a little tough. Doesn't fall apart.
Yeah. But it's not like so tough where it's like,
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Crystals, I'd say solid 5.
I think that was a good middle of the road first pick.
Yeah.
Great starter.
Great start.
Everyone take a drink. Cleanse the palate. What you drinking?
Community coffee. I'm not sponsored.
That's good, because we aren't.
All right. Let's see.
Did we want to try with any kind of like jelly or jam or honey butter on the Crystal biscuit?
Nah, let's wait for that.
Okay.
And the only condiment Crystal gave us was ketchup with the biscuit. So
Nice.
probably for the best.
Dude, I used to put ketchup because I was that kid growing up that put
ketchup
ketchup
kid?
on everything
Yeah.
except for macaroni. Those kids are weird.
I had a friend that put ketchup on scrambled eggs, and I was like, that's too far.
That's too far. Yeah. I mean, I used to put ketchup on my Popeyes biscuit because it was just, it's weird. It's weird. But I was like, it's kind of dry, So put a little biscuit, a little ketchup on top, and ever since then, I've just been like, that's it. That's the combination right there. But I can eat it without ketchup. Yeah. It's totally fine. So, biscuit let's try Chick-fil-A.
Okay, Chick-fil-A biscuit. I'll take. Whoop. So you mentioning the Crystal giving just ketchup made me think of a tier list that I've thought about doing, but I can't decide if it would be mean or not.
Okay.
Fast food employees.
Well, considering part of your family are fast food employees, it may get a little crazy.
S tier, like that.
That's true.
Like even if my family didn't work there, they're S tier.
Dude,
but like you have something like the Burger King employee that works the shift by themselves at 11 p.m. They in my experience, they're great.
Oh, it's not where I thought you were going.
No. Like that, the best experience you'll have at Burger King is when you go when there's only one person working. They usually come in clutch.
Yeah.
Oh, I've got some choice words about Popeye's employees.
Yeah. I do wonder if that is a Highway 51 Madison Popeyes thing, or if that's just across the board.
Nope. I've been to the one off County Line, and yeah, we can go ahead and eat. I've been to the one on County Line, and I sat there for about 15 minutes, and the lady said, "Can you hold just for a little bit?" And I was like, "Sure." I was getting ready for it to be like 5-10 minutes. Sat there for 15 minutes, and then she said, "Popeyes," and I was like, "All right, I want a chicken biscuit or a chicken sandwich or whatever," and she was like, "Oh, we only got legs and thighs," and I was like, "I've been sitting here for 15 minutes, and you're gonna tell me you got legs and thighs? That's it? Nothing else?" Yeah, and so it's a national thing.
They also exploded and became like a number.
Yeah, overnight sensation. Yeah.
The like chicken sandwich.
Chicken sandwich
was a dream and a nightmare all at once.
Yeah.
So wrapper.
Oh,
top tier wrapper.
Top tier.
You can't beat a Chick-fil-A wrapper.
Absolutely,
dude. I could smell.
You can't microwave. You can't microwave it.
That's true.
Yeah,
but the best.
Yeah.
This is also a buttered biscuit.
It is.
And this biscuit just looks different. We can go and eat it.
Yeah.
This biscuit is just different.
There's a lot of butter.
Oh, Bubba.
But see, this is not a dry biscuit. You can't say that.
No, this is manna from God himself. The holy.
Do you know what manna means?
Unleavened bread or something.
What is it?
What is it?
That's what manna means.
That's what manna means? Mm-hmm. What is it?
Yeah, you confirm?
True.
Yeah. So when bread was falling from the sky, everybody was saying manna, manna. Like, what is this? Yeah. So they called it manna.
Manna! What is this stuff from the sky?
I'm not saying we have to do McDonald's next, but I'm looking forward to comparing this to a McDonald's.
Dude, it's so good. I had to take a second bite.
I know.
Chick-fil-A is just, you can't touch them, man.
This is one of the better Chick-fil-A biscuits I've had. Because in the past, they've been a little too soft where they fall apart.
Oh, yeah.
But this one's...
That's a good one. That's a good one. And, man, the service is just top tier, dude.
We'll say McDonald's killed it this morning. They were great.
Yeah.
I was telling Logan when I got to the window to get the biscuits. The guy was like, "Do you want any like jelly or anything?" I said, "What do you got?" He said, "It's got strawberry and grape." I said, "I'll take 2 of each." And he went, "Sounds good to me," and that made me feel good.
That's a good man right there.
Got confirmation from the employee that I made a good choice.
The Whataburger, the Whataburger guy, which I also every time I go to Whataburger, I forget how slow it is, but they say it's worth it. I also question that every single time I go.
They have the best fast food biscuit in Gravy.
I wouldn't debate that. I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
But I went up to the window and the guy hit me with the, "All right, how much it is? It'll be about $300." And I was like, "Sure." Because what do you say to that? He's joking. He wants you to kind of argue back with him. And I was like,
he was trying.
He was trying.
Yeah.
I was like, "Keep it coming. Keep it coming." He was like, okay, $350.
Let's go.
Yeah. So they always put you in an awkward situation. Not always at Whataburger, but like those kinds of people. But it's fun. It makes life interesting.
It's always a gamble because, like, especially for me back when I worked at Chick-fil-A,
Yeah.
There would be occasional times where I'm like, I'm gonna try to banter with this customer. You have a little fun. Sometimes it doesn't always work. It can
No,
backfire.
I feel like a lot of times it doesn't work.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But I love when, when an employee, tries to take time to,
Yeah.
just have fun and everything,
absolutely.
rather than just being like, I hate my life here
Yeah.
and everything. It's like, well,
And whenever I see that, I always try to play along with it because I want to put a smile on their face. I
yeah.
want to make their day a little better because
Yeah.
I personally hated working in food service.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
It does seem to be working against your personality.
Trying to make someone smile.
Well, talking to people with high energy. Plus, you said you're really shy.
I am really shy. Doesn't have to be high energy necessarily. You don't have to.
I've seen him like in a fast food situation where he'll like, he'll say, "Hey, how's it going?" Or something like that. So,
Wow.
yeah.
So the thing I was gonna say,
Like 4 whole words.
You do, or he'll say, "You doing all right?" Like stuff like that. And
showing that you care.
yeah,
I know it's crazy for you to hear that I've said more than 3 words to a person.
People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care.
yeah,
It's good.
yeah.
So the one I was gonna say, and you keep interrupting me. How dare you? I was at
Sorry, talk less again.
a local establishment that happens to serve chicken. Chicken on a sticks, as we'll say. Do we know what restaurant I'm talking about? Pins.
Fair.
Oh yeah.
Pins. Pins.
Chicken on a stick. Yeah, fair is the only thing I know.
And
Love their chicken on a stick.
I went to the drive-thru because I was like, I want like a chicken box lunch or whatever. So I went there and I was in a good mood. I was about to get a chicken on a stick and some fries. And this lady opens up the window and she's like, it'll be blah, blah, blah. And I said, how are you doing today? No joke. She looks at me deadpan and goes, I'm 40 years old and I'm sticking my head out of a fast food window. How do you think I'm doing?
That's when you say, fair enough. Here's my card. I will never speak to you again.
My response was, oh,
Man.
okay. That's literally what I said. Oh, okay. It was awkward.
Yeah.
But she hit me with the real life though, which in hindsight I can appreciate. Not so much in the moment.
Would you say that encounter was painful?
Maybe I don't get the pun.
Dude, I love awkward moments like that. Oh
And
my
I guess
gosh.
the pens is mightier than the sword.
Yeah. Because when an awkward moment happens like that, I'm always like, all right, all right. So that'll be $3.50. Okay, how you doing? Have a good one. All right.
What are we doing next? McDonald's?
Chick-fil-A was solid.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah, we didn't rate Chick-fil-A.
yeah, I'd say it was a solid like 9, almost a 10, but I didn't want to give it perfect, but solid 9.
Are we going 10-point scale? Is that what we decided?
Of course.
10 points go.
I'll go 8-7.
Okay.
But if that's on a total biscuits ever, like
Yeah.
including restaurant biscuits and homemade and all that. Fast food biscuit, it's at least a 9.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a better fast food biscuit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's try McDonald's.
Okay.
McD.
Classic. This is the OG wrapper.
The OG.
Just the wax paper.
Oh man.
Yeah.
You can't.
It makes me just want to be like an 80-year-old man and walk in and just be like, "Can I get a black coffee and a biscuit?"
And I've never seen a McDonald's biscuit not look like this.
Yeah. This is every McDonald's biscuit
Yes.
ever.
My dream is to be the group of old men that go to McDonald's at like, I don't know, 7 or 8 in the morning and have breakfast and just talk smack and everything with each other. That's my dream.
That's like
when we turn like 70 or 80,
Yeah.
we should go do that.
At McDonald's specifically.
When I was
Yeah, absolutely.
when I was at Canton, there was a group of senior adult guys that met every day at 7 a.m.
Well, I remember that. They probably still do.
Probably.
That
All
was
right.
dry.
Here's my knock against McDonald's.
Mm-hmm.
This is not made to be eaten by itself.
No.
It's made to have egg, cheese, sausage, something inside of it.
This kind of reminds me of the Crystal Biscuit.
Crystal biscuit had better flavor to it, but they they equal out.
I feel like I disagree with that. I feel like my crystal had zero flavor at all.
Mine had a little bit of salt.
I'd say this is like a 6. A little better than the Crystal Biscuit, but not like amazingly better.
I prefer the Crystal Biscuit.
Tyler, how do you feel about a McGriddle?
Love it.
Love it.
I didn't ask you, Stephen. I asked Tyler.
So I'll interject if I want to.
Oh, get him. But yeah, I love McGriddles. I will say, when they first came out with the chicken McGriddle, I was very disappointed.
Yeah,
because they were
it
advertising
would be like a chicken and waffles kind of flavor, but it's not.
And they were advertising it like they were gonna put like the premium chicken, like you get on the good chicken sandwich and stuff. Not the McChicken chicken.
I was about to say they put the McChicken chicken.
They put the McChicken chicken on there, and I was like, oh no, you cannot put the McChicken chicken on there.
Yep.
Because this is some of the driest chicken you'll ever have. That's why they put like slap pound of mayonnaise on it and lettuce and everything to make it, moist. But the McChicken chicken on a McGriddle was just, but the sausage is great. Love that. Yeah.
All right. What's next?
Let's do Wendy's.
Yeah.
I've got all 3 Wendy's.
Do you? Oh, remember I got 4 just in case.
Now
And we did
Wendy's
get honey
is
butter on the side.
Huh?
We got honey butter on the side.
Ooh, nice. Wendy's is a newer. They just started doing
they're
breakfast.
very recent to the fast food
to the
breakfast
breakfast
game.
game.
So with Wendy's, when you
This feels like a frozen biscuit. Not like it's actually frozen, but it feels like it came out of a bag.
Yeah.
yes, it does.
Probably did.
So when you order a biscuit at Wendy's, my understanding is that on the menu it is a honey butter biscuit.
Right.
I asked for the honey butter on the side, so I don't know if these have
It tastes like it's got honey butter in it. Yeah.
I'm also going to add a little bit of honey butter because it is a little dry. It's not very dry, but it's a
A
little,
little
dry.
dry.
Yeah.
Delicious though. I mean, I'd say this is probably like a 7 compared to the
Tyler's taking the words out of my mouth. I agree.
Wendy's.
some deductive points for texture. Probably the weakest texture out of the.
But I think that's the frozen biscuit feel.
Yeah.
Hey, that's some good honey butter right
Honey
there.
butter's cheating. As soon as I dipped, I was like, oh, hold on.
I don't know, man. I don't know. It's pretty good. Dang, I didn't know you could get honey butter on the side.
And you can get, when you order breakfast from Wendy's, when you get like a combo, your side can be a honey butter biscuit. So
Have you had their breakfast baconator?
What? That's a thing.
yep.
So I think it's literally a giant
It's a baconator
with, but it's like a sausage breakfast patty
It's a sausage
instead
patty.
of beef
Oh,
and it's got egg on it.
oh,
And
and bacon.
that's
oh,
the best thing to do. Get that with honey butter on it.
Bubba.
Solid.
So my go-to, if I'm going to Wendy's, which is probably not my first pick or my third pick, it's probably even lower than that.
Honey butter
Yeah.
down. I gotta finish it.
It's their maple chicken. Have you had that?
The croissant.
It's a croissant with I think it's Swiss bacon and chicken.
Yeah.
And they put like a maple syrup glaze on it.
Wendy's is just, they're killing it with their breakfast, man. I think they've come out and they were like, hey, man, we're gonna up the game here. So
But I think it's just because they're so new, I don't think about ever going there. Like it's one of my
It's
last
true,
choices.
yeah,
I think it's just more mental. Like I'm just not
of course,
I'm not thinking about it.
yeah, I get that.
I think we're down to Whataburger.
And Popeye.
Oh yeah, correct.
You don't want to do Whataburger next?
Mhm.
What?
Gotta finish this biscuit.
You're eating that whole biscuit.
Boy,
I haven't eaten today.
You haven't given your rating yet of what it is, but I'm assuming it's high.
Just because of the honey butter. I can't put it
Dude,
down.
the honey butter's so good.
I'd say it's a
man.
7.
Yeah.
Maybe a 6.5 for texture.
Well, this will allow us, if we do Whataburger, to give a biscuit comparison and a honey butter comparison. Because I feel like that was a different kind of honey butter.
Yeah. Whataburger, I have high expectations. Because like I said, that's my go-to fast food breakfast. That and Taco Bell.
Pretty weak wrapper
Yeah.
on the Whataburger. Pretty weak. I can literally
Oh,
see
man,
through.
I can already tell This biscuit's gonna be good. Just look how yellow it is. Look how yeller that is.
Ooh, that's hard to break apart though.
Bubba. Oh, okay.
This is a completely different biscuit than we've eaten.
It's got like a blueberry kind of taste to it.
There's a sweetness.
Yeah.
That is very strange.
Yeah, it's very strange. Ain't bad though.
See, you just never eat a plain biscuit though. So like you're always putting something on it. So this is a new experience.
It's a new experience. It looked just like a Popeyes biscuit to me, and I was getting ready for it to taste like one, but this is different.
That sweetness is throwing me, but not in a bad way.
Yeah.
It's nice.
There's also no honey butter on this.
Correct.
I guess we'll just have to do the chicken.
The honey butter, I dipped a little bit in the Wendy's. That elevates it a ton.
I'd say this is a solid 6. Kind of where the McDonald's biscuit is. You know, pretty good.
I feel like because it's got the different flavor though, it hits better with kind of like how we're saying with McDonald's. It's not meant to be eaten alone.
Yeah.
I feel like this elevates like sandwiches.
I think Whataburger is leaning on their honey butter more than their biscuit.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like you're eating it for the glaze.
You all ready for the king? The king.
Well, before we get to it, Whataburger also has a new thing called a jalapeno cheddar biscuit.
What?
Now,
I'm scared of this because I don't do.
it won't be in the running. It could be like an honorable mention. Do we want to do that now or do it later? Do we want Popeyes to be like head to head? Or do we want to... You all tell me.
You're running the show. You're running the business show.
I think we should do any specialty biscuits after. Yeah.
It's fair.
Popeyes it is.
All right. So I'll split my.
I really don't need it. It's fine.
Well, we got 2 right here.
You've been very vocal in your opinion, so I think you should have.
I know that a Popeyes biscuit is going to be my favorite.
Come on now.
It's the smallest.
But that's also not a... That's like a side biscuit.
Yeah.
That was never intended to have anything with it.
Oh man. That's
A little
got the
dry.
perfect amount of crunch.
Huh? Oh, yeah. A little dry.
It is dry. Flavor's all right, but that's good texture.
That's interesting because in my experience, a Popeyes biscuit is usually the greasiest of all of them.
Yeah.
So maybe this is like hey, this was their first batch of the day. You know, figure it out.
Oh, he dipping it.
You don't have to. That is honey butter. Someone needs to say something.
Give me a rating.
I'd say, well, granted, all these biscuits are about an hour or 2 old, so they're not fresh. So it's kind of hard to,
Yeah.
say how, like, good they are and everything without being fresh. I'd say Popeye is probably like an 8.
So
I was going to say 10, but it ain't
It
hitting. It ain't hitting.
in the moment, it didn't hit you. Chick-fil-A still.
Chick-fil-A is still... That's amazing that Chick-fil-A, you can buy that biscuit and like 2 hours later or whatever. Still great.
Yeah.
And a lot of that.
Shout out,
And we
Chick-fil-A.
were going to talk about this, or at least I mentioned this. The difference between a breakfast biscuit and like a side, like
Fast food. Yeah.
new biscuit. So it's hard to compare Popeyes to biscuits that are prepped to be incorporated into like a sandwich or into something else.
Yeah.
Because the Popeyes biscuit is very much like,
It's supposed to be by itself.
yeah, it's by itself. It's on the side. Yeah.
I did hear, though, Popeyes used to make a chicken biscuit.
Man.
This
where'd
was
that go?
probably like 10, 20 years ago. I don't know. I think John Scott told me about it once. But he said that they did it for a time. And I was like, that's amazing. If they did that today, they'd probably knock Chick-fil-A like off the, just off the ranking or whatever. But I don't think they're going to do it.
But I
For
see.
another success like the chicken sandwich.
But see, I feel like, Stephen, a Chick-fil-A biscuit would not go good with gravy.
It would not.
I
can
feel like it
confirm
would
that.
soak. It's too soft. It would soak up all the gravy, and it would just be. You'd have chunky gravy, chunkier gravy.
I actually did that a few weeks ago, just because I was curious. Because Chick-fil-A used to have a gravy biscuit on their menu,
Really?
and it was good. But I don't know if they've just changed the way they do their biscuits because the biscuits now are way too soft for gravy.
It's still so good, man. Like, it's so soft.
It's
and,
the
like,
best biscuit.
It really is, dude.
It's the best by itself, plain biscuit.
Yeah.
Steven really just likes honey butter. That's where
do.
Steven's
I
at.
love it.
Oh, dude, honey butter's great.
It's the best.
All right. I think we
Our mouths are all dry.
we try the jalapeno cheddar,
Mm-hmm.
watch Steven cry, and then as like the cherry on top, as we wrap up, it'll just be a nice smooth sail into honey butter chicken biscuit
Yeah,
territory.
excellent.
I'm excited.
Sports ball.
That's not.
Ball. Did you watch that video I sent you?
Yeah, I've seen that video before.
I love it.
That girl is like
Oh, go team.
having a great time.
Team sports.
Go
Go
team.
sports.
Go sports. Go team.
I'm not gonna lie to you. This one looks pretty dry, even though it's supposed to have jalapenos and cheddar.
I can see the jalapeno and the cheddar.
I can too.
That smell is killing me.
So you don't do hot foods at all.
I don't do spicy food.
So Jeremy Bounds could just murder you.
I guess he could. I don't know what the context is there.
Well, because
That's super spicy though.
oh, you don't know about Jeremy and how he doesn't have a soul when it comes to his stomach.
No.
He could eat fire and not be worried about it.
Oh, he's one of those guys that could probably go on what's that wing?
Like hot ones.
Hot ones, yeah, and probably just
Yeah,
nail it,
not
yeah.
not phased.
wow.
Took a little bite and that was enough.
That's good. I like that.
Well, it's got flavor. Which
If that is something that you're into, that is good. I have a huge aversion to jalapeno.
I'm proud of you.
Well, it's
for
not
eating
like
it.
they're giant jalapenos and
No,
they're just
but like-
little things. Yeah.
They taste like jalapenos.
Oh yeah.
It's there to where it's just like
Kind of like what's that soapy thing that they put in like tacos and
Cilantro.
stuff? Cilantro. Yeah. Some people aren't into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
for some people it tastes like soap.
Now, what we didn't even talk about, which it wouldn't even fit in this contest, but it's worth noting: Red Lobster, Cheddar Bay biscuits.
Man. It's been years.
So good. I
They
make
used to
those at
sell them at like Walmart and like
That's-
Kroger.
You can go. Yep,
Yeah.
they're good. That's a hard biscuit to beat. Just if we're doing like general, bring what you got, best biscuit to the table.
home. Best
Yeah.
on its own biscuit is a Red Lobster biscuit,
Yeah.
but you can't do a Red Lobster biscuit
Well,
with
thanks, sir.
add-ons.
Yeah.
True, I agree.
Oh,
Shout out to Bojangles too, since we don't have Bojangles here, but
We're
they
gonna-
got good biscuits.
When is Bojangles going to make it over here?
we're getting one.
I don't know.
Fair.
Really?
Yeah, there's one coming. I don't remember.
They might have one in like,
I think it's coming
Tupelo
to
or
Madison.
something, but not around in Metro.
We
Oh,
we are
Bubba.
getting one in the metro.
This looks amazing. Yeah, Bojangles.
And this is what makes a biscuit great: is it's a vehicle.
Maybe
Or
the
just-
real biscuit was the friends we made along the way.
That's right. Oh my gosh. That's nice.
That's good.
So I really want to do this podcast so I can get fed for free.
Mission accomplished.
Mission accomplished.
Tyler just wanted some biscuits. He wanted
I just
biscuits.
want some biscuits,
Yeah.
brother. That's it. We have plethora of biscuits.
Now, does this, not that it would officially change your score, but does it change your score of the Whataburger biscuit? Which I think we said was a 7. I think was what we said it was.
I'd still say it's a 7, honestly. I mean, it's good with the honey butter and the chicken and everything, but the biscuit's still probably a 7. But I'm not tasting that blueberry or whatever that it had in it.
Oh, that's so strange.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe they accidentally put some pancake mix in that first batch.
Maybe.
Imagine the ASMR that's going to happen from this.
Can't wait to make the YouTube short of just us chewing.
Dude, if you put ASMR in there, just anywhere, it'll probably get like 20,000 views at least.
That is an experiment I could do.
But do you want to?
No.
No.
I really don't.
You don't want to get hooked up in that category.
Yeah, no.
These guys are eating biscuits.
We could just make like a clip video of just us chewing, and it's just nothing but just us going, yeah.
Was that
Yoda? That's good stuff.
It is nice. All right, host, take us somewhere.
Where you want to go?
We're chomping.
You're the host.
So, Tyler, how much time we got? What's our time?
Where do you look? I think we're
Amateur.
just over an hour.
On the bottom right, where you see the red dot in OBS, it gives an elapsed time.
Hour 3.
Okay.
So more realistically, probably about an hour.
About an hour.
Yeah.
Okay. But what time is it actually? Because that's more what I'm concerned with.
11:20.
Okay, so we got about 20, 30 minutes. Tell me about how you got to Ridgecrest.
That's a good question. So I had some neighbors that went here. It was Miss Gayla and AJ.
Yep.
This was back in the day. Shout out.
I know they were your neighbors.
Yeah. They recently moved in from like Yazoo, I think, or something. And so after a whole bunch of stuff went down, they were like, you need a church you can go to, because I hadn't really been attending or anything like that. And I was probably like, I was really new to.
Around what age was that?
Huh?
Around what age was that?
Like 15, something like that. I really wasn't like seeking Christ. I was probably seeking myself more, which is typical for like a teenager. But I came to like my wit's end and everything, and I was just not in like not in the greatest space and everything. And so they invited me to go to church, and they started driving me to church and everything. And the only time I really ever been to a church was, I think I went to a Pentecostal church when I was younger. And I never really got anything out of it. My parents were like, we should go here because we got family members here. But, we stopped going. And so this was the first time I was making the decision to go to a church by myself.
Yeah.
And so I started going here, and I just kind of fell in love with
I was going to ask what made you decide to stay.
What made me decide to stay?
Mm-hmm.
He's really asking, was it him? Was it Stephen that made you want to stay?
When did you decide that you wanted to stay because of my presence?
He wants you to say that he completes you.
No. It's not at all.
You complete me. I think I decided to stay when I just saw like how everybody at this church was like pouring into me.
Yeah.
And caring for me in some kind of way. Yeah. Like it was in a world that like just feels like, nobody cares about you and everything. Ridgecrest just kind of seemed to care about me. Mm-hmm. A lot of people, especially when I was younger coming here and everything, like Scott Rogers or even William, even William wouldn't, he probably don't remember anything about it, but he invested in me. There was a couple of people that invested into me and helped me, become the man I am today and teach me and everything like that. So, I think God used a lot of people in this church to really just care for people. And I'm not trying to say this church is better than other churches or
You
anything
can,
like
fine.
that. But it seemed like the amount of investing that went into like individuals and everything was greater than, you know, saving face or, trying to like look like this big church or something.
Yeah.
Like they didn't care about
There's a
that.
lot more of that relational involvement rather than
Yeah.
just keeping to yourself doing the Christian thing.
Right. Yeah. I mean, because I've seen this church, just welcome in like the people with the darkest kind of lives and everything. And that shows me what Christ is that he's not looking for somebody that's perfect or anything like that, or, suited up or, trying to live this perfect life. This place is a literal hospital for the broken, you know?
And in Jesus' time on earth, a large part of it was spent calling what the world would consider the lesser people.
Mm-hmm.
So I've
Yeah.
been a huge proponent of that mindset of.
Hmm.
I've been a huge proponent of that mindset of God using people that normally would be seen as less than or not enough to greatness.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And so that really like just it brought me to want to stay here and everything.
Awesome.
I've tried other churches and they're great and everything, but there's just something about the fact that a lot of people here want to be relational.
Yeah.
And want to, pour into you and everything like that. That it encourages you to want to be relational with those people and everything. You
Yeah.
know?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Even though I'm probably at like a time in my life where I feel like I've been hurt by a lot of people and everything, and
Yeah.
I want to be more lonely or more alone than like hanging out with people and stuff. But something about this church and Christ just it still kind of pushes me to be there for people and everything. Even though I have like hardened heart and everything, but it makes me want to still try and be open.
The age, this may just be my experience, but the age that we're kind of at can be tough because it's around that time when the people that you are used to being around, like your friends from college or the friends you kept from high school,
Yeah.
start to go separate ways or start to show true
Yeah.
colors and everything, and so it can be like a very lonely time where
Yeah.
it feels hard to invest in people when the people you spent so much time investing in
Left.
left.
Yeah.
I 100% get that.
Yeah. Oh, dude, it hurts.
It does.
It hurts, and like it's a part of life,
Yeah.
And I'm sure Logan could, attest to that too. You'd lose people in your life and everything, and you find out people aren't who they are anymore and everything, and it hurts a lot, and it makes you want to harden your heart, and not open up to people and everything. But this church and what I've seen Christ do and everything to me and everybody in this church just it still like encourages me
Yeah.
to try and be open and everything like that, even though sometimes I just want to be like, no, I don't want to do anything today.
Yeah, I get it.
But it's like, if somebody calls me or texts me and they're being like, hey man, I'm struggling with stuff or something, I'm gonna be there for you. I'm gonna put that aside and try and be there for you. That's what Ridgecrest always taught me, is that no matter how crazy dark it gets and everything like that, they're still gonna be there for you, and most importantly, God's gonna be there for you. So
It's awesome. What
Yeah.
a glowing endorsement.
It's almost like we paid for it
We didn't.
with biscuits.
biscuits.
So, because I'm a student pastor, I'll talk to people and I'll say, hey, you need to like invest in students, reach out to students, whatever. And it's not weird. That's not the right word, but it's interesting how people, unless it happened to them, they don't really understand what that looks like.
Yeah.
to pour into a student or just to invest in a student or whatever.
Yeah.
So what did that look like? There's no wrong answer. What did that look like for you when you said, like, you named like 3 or 4 people that invested in you as a teenager?
Yeah.
What did that look like? And was some of it like straight up, let's go sit at a coffee shop and read the Bible together, or was it not like that? What did it look like?
No, it was exactly like that, honestly. Even Michael Estes, before he became the head pastor here, like we would go and eat like Chick-fil-A or something, or people here they'd be like, "Hey, I'm gonna pay for your meal, and let's go and talk," or let's go and learn this, or do something like, it was getting somebody to go to a place where they can feel comfortable talking about stuff and everything like that, and just hanging out with them and talking to them and just being real with them and everything, not shoving stuff down their throat
Mm-hmm.
and being like, hey, because I've experienced that too, where people are like, oh, this is what's wrong with you and you need to do this and do that and everything. Ridgecrest was more like, or a lot of people from here were more relatable, and they were like, I went through that. I went through that depression you're going through, or I went through this, and here's how I handled it. Maybe you could apply to your life or something, but I'm here to help you whenever you need it.
Stephen, you can feel free to jump in on this one.
Mm-hmm.
What is the balance between not shoving down your throat, which is important, but also not just saying everything's okay?
Yeah. I think there's just a point of honesty and everything that everybody needs to have, where where they can come up to you and be like, hey man, I noticed like you have stuff going on wrong with your, or not.
You're making some decisions.
Yeah, you're making some
decisions
decisions that may not be the best, but I'm here for you, and I want to help you with those, with that stuff and everything. That's the biggest thing. It's just, telling somebody that, you're noticing that they're making those decisions and being there for them and everything, I think is the biggest thing. And, not just like, one time being like, hey, I noticed that, you're struggling with drugs.
To you.
Turns out it's what's the big dude from the Goonies? That's who you're meeting with. Hey, you guys.
What is his name?
I don't know.
It's like slop or something. I don't know.
Next episode is a live viewing party of the Goonies, where we'll do a director's commentary.
Yeah.
Did you have anything you wanted to add?
Yeah. I try to listen, be a good listener first and foremost.
Yeah.
But if I see there's a specific person in mind that I think of, I'm not going to name.
Yeah.
Your father.
Yeah. Man can't get watching.
Daddy wasn't there.
But where I would talk to them and I would let them do all the talking, and I would just ask specific questions.
Yeah.
To kind of try to guide them into realizing what the problem was,
Yeah.
Because it's a lot easier for someone to realize when they're wrong when they trap themselves,
Yeah. Well, because they have like those aha moments.
Exactly. And if they have somebody that they see as either someone who doesn't get it or someone who they see as confrontational or adversarial,
Yeah.
if they have them saying, hey, this is what I think, then they're not going to listen because they have their arms up against you. But if they can come to that realization themselves, then
Right.
And so I try to approach those situations by listening, making a person feel heard, but also kind of trying to ask those questions to get them thinking on their own.
Yeah.
Because usually, in my experience, especially with teenagers,
Yeah.
when you tell them what they need to hear, their arms are up against it.
Yeah.
a lot of the time.
But part of that was kind of how you even talked about it. Is you started off by saying like you felt like people cared about you, but then I think you called it like real talk, and I like to think about it like that because if some random guy just comes up to you and is like, "Hey, you need to quit doing blank," you're like,
Yeah.
"Who are you?"
Yeah.
Like you don't get to
Yeah.
tell me anything. But if so and so, and it doesn't even have to be a lot of time. It can be like you've had a couple of conversations,
Yeah.
and you're like, "Hey, I care about you. Let's go hang out." Buying them food always helps. Doesn't matter what age you are. And then just saying like, I value enough to sit down and have a conversation with you. Now say, hey, I've noticed this, which also shows that you care because you've taken the time to notice. I noticed that you do blank. What's up with that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just, it's almost not a big deal, but it's also like the biggest deal is like in how you ask the question.
Yeah.
Because you can ask it the same exact question random dude off the street asks and it be taken a completely different way.
Yeah.
With a lot of that stuff, there, and I'm thinking specifically with students in mind, and it can be this way with anybody, but with students specifically, if there is that thing in their life that you know is wrong, that you're trying to get them to move away from, their arms are up in guard immediately, thinking
Yeah.
that you're going to condemn them, come down on them.
Right.
And so even just asking the question or making genuine conversation about that thing, they don't expect that.
Right.
They expect ridicule. And so a lot of it is just listening and knowing how to talk to rather than talk at.
Yeah.
That's a big part of it.
Yeah. Definitely.
So we
Got
actually
deep.
we actually
Seems
couched
Foster didn't
the,
even get this deep.
we actually couched this as a biscuit thing, but it's actually an intervention, Tyler. So there's some things that we need to talk to you about.
So remember that
gotta
time we
go.
gave you a wireless body pack and you ran across the stage?
Do what?
Remember that time we gave you a wireless body pack and you ran across the stage?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is about that.
Uh-oh. I'm sorry, Michael. I'm sorry.
That was our fault. We didn't give you.
You
We
gave
didn't give you boundaries.
You just told me to go.
Yeah. That was so good. I every time we give Tyler a little more room, I always tell him that he needs to do like the 80s hair metal band thing where he like leans up against the singer and like
Yes.
sings into their mic with them.
Well, there was the time, it was probably a month ago at this point. I think Alan wasn't there, and I felt like you just had a little bit extra
Yep.
room in your little,
Yeah.
and you were getting into
I
it.
was like dancing and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
Man.
Alan was leading probably.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
I think
right.
That's it, yeah.
And I didn't hear any complaints about that. So it's really, you just have like a box.
Yeah.
And outside of that box, we just get emails. Inside the box, it's a wonderful time.
Yeah.
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 Give me a box, man.
You need to come on again and we'll talk about either A, worship fails, which are hilarious,
Oh my
or
gosh.
times when people have gotten upset when we've done something on stage.
Yeah.
Because I have so many of those.
Oh my gosh.
So one more question for you before I'll toss it to Logan to wrap this thing.
Yeah.
So something I didn't mention in the beach dodgeball story, you were there.
I was
You were
there.
on my team.
Yeah. That was it was like a
It was
student trip.
It was a student trip,
Yeah. It was like Gulf Shores or something.
something like
It
that.
was somewhere like Alabama Beach or
Yeah.
something like that.
I was
do
in
remember
11th grade. I was approaching my senior year.
that. Yeah.
Did I or did I not do a backflip?
I think you did because I just remember like everybody being like super like, "Oh man," you know. I specifically remember like Brody, I think, just like freaking out about it or something.
Yeah.
And so that was that was a really good time. But yeah, there was some kind of craziness that was going on, and I think you probably did something.
I believe I did.
Yeah, because I think I believe I did.
They're detractors. I just
Yeah.
wanted to.
If
No,
you-
because I remember when we lost, because we lost the game. I think, yeah, and it
I
was
have a
just,
story about that.
yeah. I think it was like when we lost the game, everybody was like, "Oh man, that was so close," and it was just like, there was that moment. So I'm pretty sure that happened.
they were like, gosh, that weird homeschool kid almost brought it back. And then he didn't. Makes sense.
They didn't know I was homeschooled. It was another church.
Believe me, everybody knew. Yeah.
Wearing the I'm homeschooled T-shirt was probably a bad idea.
Hey, he's got a loader necklace. He's got a loader necklace.
So that game, those games that we played, because we got to the final round. We lost in the final round.
Yeah.
But the way we lost was hilarious because a friend of ours, Brody, was also on our team.
Yeah.
And it was him and like three other like just big dudes on the other team.
Yeah.
It was a bad game. And he was like, it may have been Brody, may have been Carter, I can't remember, but one of them were like, I'm gonna go out with like a big move.
Yeah, the kamikaze move is always an interesting strategy.
Yeah. Didn't do the kamikaze move. That you don't do that with one person left.
That's true.
That's
Oh, he was by himself.
He was by himself.
I
There were
thought you
three
said-
other guys on three guys on the other team.
Oh, I'm with you.
And he ran up to the line and got cold feet and like stopped, but his feet got stuck in the sand, and so he started doing this thing where he's rocking back and forth and lost his balance, and the other guys were just watching, and then he fell forward over the line, hit the sand, and they all just it was great.
Classic.
Very classy way for us to lose.
There was one moment at the gym where I got it on camera, I think, because you were trying to do like a college
did a
thing.
documentary for my college.
Yeah.
Of course.
And there was like a move that you did, we got in slow motion where like we were trying to show like how good you are at dodging, and you like dodged all of like these.
For the record, I did not tell Tyler.
I was about to
"Hey,
say,
follow the
this is
star."
this is your documentary talking about how good you are at dodgeball.
I had a camera set up to the side to get some.
Got it.
This was like about the ministry of dodgeball, I think.
Led by Stephen.
Ministry. He called it a ministry.
The Stephen Collier Ministry of Dodgeball by
of
Stephen.
excellence.
Because you had to do like a project or something for
Yeah,
MC.
we had to do a documentary style thing, and I was like, you know what, I'll do it on the ministry that we have here. And so I had the camera set up, static,
Yeah.
getting B-roll of people playing dodgeball, and I decided to go play. And Tyler was out, so he grabbed the camera and started following. I didn't know he was doing this, and so he got footage of me.
After you put
And you
$20
can hear
in
me
his
in
pocket.
like the background being like, I got the whole camera, dude.
Yeah, I just,
I got it, dude.
I got it, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, it's all on camera, dude.
but I believe what it was, because there's a video on YouTube of me doing it was posted on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
Was it hit me in the chest, then I bounced off this hand trying to catch it, then I bounced off that hand trying to catch it,
Yeah.
and then I dove, caught it, and then rolled,
Yeah.
and then did one of those and then fell over.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh my god, he caught it, he caught it.
So what you're saying is you should have just caught it, and it would have been fine.
I did catch it.
But there was also
dazzle on the way.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think somebody else. There was like other like people throwing dodgeballs at you too.
Yeah.
Maybe so. It was
It's
great.
a fun time.
Yeah.
We go all in.
I don't think you can do that anymore because I feel like if you tried to do, your just spine would just.
The last time I tried to play dodgeball was Dino of last year. I threw one ball, immediately threw out my back, and realized that I'm an old man.
You're done, man. It's
I did hint the kid.
But we are doing dodgeball nights this semester with students.
what?
We're bringing it back.
Bringing it back.
I'm gonna try to participate. I'm definitely gonna be there.
Just warm up this time.
No,
Look, your
no.
back
man
is like a
can't warm
muscle. You just have to warm up and then execute and then cool down.
There's no.
The
warm
voice
up.
is a muscle. The back is just there. There's no muscles involved.
He don't warm up. He just goes.
So next week we're bringing on some physical therapists to talk about what the back is, because apparently it's just there.
The back is just there.
I think Leah's.
China's not a continent. China's a continent.
We actually have
A couple physical therapists.
we have a lot of physical
Kyle
therapists,
McCullough,
and
I think
yeah,
he's a physical therapist. Pretty sure. There's a good bit. That'd be interesting.
We should have a physical therapist on here. Have them fight for the spot.
Yeah.
they could like massage you and like point out all your flaws.
I don't like that. Point out all my
I
flaws.
don't like that.
I do that in the mirror enough.
We'll start at your toes and we'll just start from there and we'll just go up.
You got messed up toe. You got bunions. Look at that bunion.
Why would you start at the toes?
I just figure
Because your toe broke.
you start and go up. Would you rather start at the crown and go down?
I would rather not be judged by a person.
Yeah. I feel like that's your whole life. Is people throw things at you and they
It's
judge you.
professional judgment, though. You know, it's different.
We could get a PT on, and then we could get Stacey O'Neill, and she could criminally judge you.
Criminally judge me.
I looked up your background.
Back when you were a youth.
You're a sick individual.
I did nothing as a youth. I was homeschooled. I never left the house.
That's exactly how you're sick.
Wasted.
You're ill.
Wasted potential.
Look at you.
Goodness.
So is it time for my last word?
Yeah.
Did you have a word before my last word, or am I doing the next to last word?
Do you want me to do like the closing thoughts and then you do the last word, or do we want to do what we normally do?
You do the closing thoughts, and then I have a last question for Tyler to answer.
Fantastic. So we appreciate you guys watching this far. If you have, we would love it if you would leave a like or upvote, follow, comment, whatever the interaction options are. Subscribe.
Yeah.
Whatever those options are on your the platform of your choosing. We'd love to get
Ooh,
engagement.
I accidentally hit the button, so I might as well say something.
Okay.
That really,
Say it, brother.
It really was an accident. On Spotify, you can actually follow the channel, and that helps. Like that's one of the things that they track is like monthly listeners, but also followers.
Yeah.
So
It gives you like a little update.
yeah, you know all about Spotify.
Oh, brother, I know the science and everything.
Yeah.
I have to.
Independent artists.
Independent artists,
And
man.
also, wherever you're listening, if there's the ability to comment, just comment who you are and where you're listening. We would love to know like where you guys are at.
We can do biscuit challenges, coffee. What else? I'm sorry.
Okay.
I had a little
Acid
moment
reflux challenge.
there. I had
That was a
little-
yawn or a
the
burp. What
biscuit,
was
man.
going on?
The biscuit hit, and I was like, oh
my God.
I'm dying. Somebody pray for me.
That was
Almost
great.
died on camera.
Yeah.
Oh God, I don't even know where we are. Here we go. All right.
Comment. What were you even saying?
If you want to do any kind of challenge, like
Yeah, biscuit challenge.
it's like a Mitch McConnell. I had a stroke on camera.
Comment where you are listening. Let us know any other types of episodes you would like us to do.
Yeah.
This episode happened because of a viewer comment. That could be you.
That is true.
Last word.
All right, my last word, Tyler, is a question for you. You say that you are I keep accidentally hitting buttons. You say that you're a professional musician. You say that you are a guitarist, a guitar player. My question is if that's so, how many chords do you know? Because I know like 3. I mean, can you beat that?